Hello. So Yooka-Replaylee just came out not too long ago, and I just finished it. 100% completed the game. So, I thought I would share my thoughts on it. Uh, this is completely unscripted. I don't have like a list of things I want to talk about. I'm just gonna yap and see how it goes. So here are my thoughts on the game. I guess I should first talk about what I thought about the original Yooka-Laylee. Um, I didn't like it very much. No offense or no disrespect towards the developers. They clearly put a lot of love and passion into the original Yooka-Laylee, for sure, and I love that. But there was a lot of things that were just really unpolished about that game, a lot of questionable design decisions, and just overall, I just kind of didn't think it was fun to play, and I felt that it really kind of lacked its own unique identity, and it just kind of felt like it was just trying to full on replace Banjo-Kazooie and not really do too much of its own thing. It certainly did have its own new ideas, but the new ideas it had didn't feel very good to me, and or just maybe not good, but just not executed in a good way, I think is a better way to put that. Um so fast forward to now. When they first announced that they were doing a remake of Yooka-Laylee, I was pretty darn confused because the game's not that old, and I felt that like their efforts would be better put towards a sequel that makes things better rather than just improving the game that is already not that old. And I still kind of question that decision a little bit, but all in all, I think they made the game a whole lot better. For starters, I never even finished the original Yooka-Laylee. I tried so many times. I tried so hard to love that game. I really, really wanted to love that game, but I just didn't. And I could never finish it. I got close. I got to the last world in my original playthrough of Yooka-Laylee. But just gave up on trying to get the remaining pages that I needed to unlock the final boss, and I just never got to it. But with Yooka-Replaylee, I blasted through this game 100% within like 4 days. So I think that alone says a lot, that like, this game is good. This game is good. If I couldn't finish the first one, but this one is just like, I got to the end no problem, and I had a great time while doing it. Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator that the game is pretty good now. And I know I'm not alone in that. I've heard a lot of people share similar sentiments that they couldn't beat the original, but they've had so much fun with Replaylee. So yeah, overall, I think the game is very good now. Um, so I guess I'll start talking about some of the very good changes from the original game that I really like. The first one is the addition of quids, which are basically just coins that are kind of scattered around the levels now. And it's not like collect all 500 quids or so in a level to get 100%. It's like, no, it's like an infinite, collectible that you get. Some of them are just kind of placed around to kind of guide you through the level, throughout various, locations throughout it, which is good. That was a big problem in the original game, is that, like, there was just, like, no incentive to really, like, explore there was no, like, main path, really. It was just kind of, the worlds were so big and empty, and it was so overwhelming to navigate, but with the quids, it's like, okay, now you have, like, a good idea of where to go, where you haven't been yet, and I really like that. Part of me is still a little confused, like, why they didn't just do that with quills in the first place, which is the equivalent of notes in Banjo-Kazooie, and in Banjo-Kazooie, notes are what guides you around the levels. But in Yooka-Laylee and still in Replaylee, quills are more kind of off to the side as a collectible. They're more like purple coins in Mario Odyssey, I guess. This game takes a lot of cues from Mario Odyssey now, by the way, which is a good thing in a lot of ways. So I'm glad about that. So I don't know. It's still weird to me. Like, I feel like quills could have just been quids now, but I'm not mad about it. So I think the addition of quids adds a whole lot to the game because it's just like I think the biggest thing is that like you get them from defeating enemies now. And before, like, enemies in Yooka-Laylee were just kind of scattered almost like randomly, and they were never hard to beat. They're still not. But like now you actually get a reward for defeating them. And it's not like banjo-kazooie, you kill an enemy, you get an extra health, because oftentimes you just don't need it. But like now you get money for killing enemies, and that's good because you need a lot of money if you want to buy all of the cosmetic stuff, which is also a new addition, which I'm very happy with. It is very fun to dress up Yooka and Laylee. Sorry if I'm like all over the place. I don't have a plan for what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of talking aimlessly and seeing what comes to mind. But I love the outfits. I love dressing up Yooka and Laylee. It's really cute. They have, I don't know if I should spoil this. I don't know if people really care about it, but well, I guess this was in like, I know this was in like a pre-release screenshot. They had one that was essentially just banjo shorts, which I thought was pretty cute. I wore that for a bit. They also have a tie that has like Y and L on it as like a little logo. It's kind of like the Donkey Kong tie, I'm pretty sure is the reference there. So a lot of fun little outfits, especially like the full-on costumes, I guess, that you get from Trouser and whatnot, which I'll talk about him in a second too. But like the full-on costumes that you get is like they got so many crazy outfits. I think honestly I really do like the first one you get in Tribal Stack Tropics, which is just like the kind of vacation outfit that they have. I think it looks really cute on them. I really enjoy that one quite a lot. Trouser. Do I talk about Trouser now? I guess it's kind of leaning to something I don't like. I don't know if I wanted to split this up as like good things first, then my nitpicks later, but who cares? It's all over the place. Anyways, so Trouser in this game is a little bit different to how he was in the first game. In the first game, Trouser was your bottles equivalent, and he taught you all of your new moves throughout the game. And that was one thing I actually really liked about the original Yooka-Laylee, was that it wasn't just you learn this move in this world. It was that like you got to choose which move you wanted to learn at any moment in the game. And I thought that was actually a really cool idea. But in Yooka-Replaylee, what they do is they just give you all of the moves from the start of the game. So you just have them all unlocked already and you don't learn any new moves from Trouser. Now, I've seen a lot of people praise this, so I guess I'm in the minority here. And I get why, you know, I understand a lot of people just like being able to go into a level and to 100% it just from the moment they enter, without having to backtrack at all. I am in the group of sickos that loves banjo-tooie and how it handles backtracking. I think you can handle backtracking very well, and I think banjo-tooie is an example of a game that does do backtracking very well. I personally, you know, I love getting a new ability and then going back to see how I can use that ability in a previous world. It's not a hassle to me. I enjoy going out of my way to do that. That's part of the exploration process to me, is doing stuff like that. So I was a bit bummed that kind of progression was gone now. I understand why some people may prefer it, but personally, I thought it might be a little confusing for people who didn't play the original game, that they have all of these moves at the very start, and some of them are pretty complex. They have a nice little tutorial for it now, but it's kind of over very quickly. So I would be curious to see if like someone playing this game for the first time without playing the original Yooka-Laylee might be a little overwhelmed by the amount of moves that they have at the start. But otherwise, I'm not too heartbroken over it. It was nice to like, you know, not be super confused by some of the challenges in the game that would have otherwise required backtracking. I mean, I think that's just kind of a thing with Yooka-Laylee in general. Is like, I don't think the first game or the original first game, it's basically the same thing. Whatever. I don't think the original game handled backtracking as well as Banjo-Tooie did. I don't really have the brain cells right now to explain why. If I had more time to like put thought into like an essay of sorts, like I could probably explain it better. But for now, it's just I just didn't enjoy it as much as Banjo-Tooie, and that could be nostalgia blindness. It could just be because I have played Tooie so many times, but I thought it was not as good in Yooka-Laylee. But now it's just gone completely. So I mean, that is a problem fixed. Another problem fixed in Replaylee. But about what Trowser actually does now in this game is he offers you little upgrades, I guess. Not as, nothing crazy like a whole new move, because you have all the moves now, but like he will, add one to your health. He will make your stamina meter last a bit longer. You get like 1,000 coins for just, spending a bunch of quills and whatnot. And he also offers like some tonics. We gotta talk about tonics too. But like tonics, the best one I think is like one that doubles the quids you get. That's an insanely broken one. There's also the I guess the quill magnet and the quid magnet ones. Those are good. Just nice little, smaller abilities instead of actually giving you a new move. So it's not that I don't like Trowser in this game. I still really like what he does, and it still like does a very good job at incentivizing you to collect quills. I just do kind of miss the original progression system of being able to choose your own move at any point. I think that's I think that's a good idea, and I'm sad that they got rid of that one. What I'm not sad they got rid of, though, is expanding the worlds. This is actually a great example of how Yooka-Laylee fails at backtracking, whereas Tooie succeeds. So, in the original Yooka-Laylee, when you first entered a world, you did not have access to the whole world. And it wasn't because you didn't have a certain move, it was because straight up, like, half of the world was just blocked off to you, and you had to go back out of the world to expand the world. You have to spend your own pages to expand the world, to make it bigger, to get more pages. And that is... Listen, I have nothing but love and respect for these developers, but I just never understood that decision. Because that is backtracking in its worst form, is to just make you leave and come back for the fuck of it. Like, I just did not like that. Whereas in Banjo-Tooie, like, all of the worlds were, not all of them, but most of the worlds were interconnected. And if you had to go back to one world for one reason, there was oftentimes another reason to go back to it as well. So it never felt like you were wasting your time. Whereas, like, Yooka-Laylee, it's just like, okay, you're in the world, now leave, do this one thing to expand the world, and then come right back. Especially with how long the loading screens were in the first game. They're pretty long in this game, too, I won't lie. But that's a minor complaint. But it's just, I just didn't like that. But now, in Replaylee, the worlds are fully expanded from the beginning. So you just have access to the entire worlds from the start. And that is so much better. The worlds themselves, I'm not as familiar with the Yooka-Laylee levels as I am with Banjo-Kazooie, of course. So, like, I couldn't tell you exactly how much the actual geometry of the levels themselves have changed. I noticed, like, a few slight differences from what I could remember. But for the most part, they seem pretty much the same, which is fine. I think the layouts of the levels are kind of fine. They weren't great in the first game, but it was mainly just because, like, in the first game, the levels were just so empty. But now they have kind of filled that emptiness with a lot more smaller challenges. Like I said, very Mario Odyssey core now, in which, like, you have all these little challenges around, like, you'll find like this ring of red coins or red quids, and suddenly you're on a timer to collect 8 of them, very quickly, and you get a pagey for that. Sometimes you'll find the green quid that gives you like this super long trail of green coins, and you gotta follow that, and then you get a pagey at the end. There's a lot of stuff like that throughout, and they also have like kind of the Mario Odyssey ground pound moons, where you just like, you'll see a spot glowing on the ground, and you ground pound or buddy slam it, and sometimes you get a pagey out of it, sometimes you just get quids, sometimes an enemy will pop out, all kinds of stuff. There's also puzzle pieces now, not jiggies, puzzle pieces. And there's 8 of them in a level, and if you get 4 of them, you get a pagey for it. So 2 pages in each world count to, or you get 2 pages in each world from getting all 8 puzzle pieces. And I'm like I was a little confused by that, because like they already have like the Tauren pages where you have to get like 3 of them to get a pagey, but those are just kind of gone. Well, I don't even remember how common they were in the original game, to be honest, but I do remember it was a mechanic. I remember seeing the puzzle pieces and then the Tauren pagey in Tribal Stack Tropics, and being a little confused. Like, isn't this like the same thing? Why do we have 2? Why do we have 2 like mechanics for this? That was a little strange to me. But there's really like not that many Tauren pages in the game at all. I can only think of 2 instances where you actually find them. For the most part, it's just the puzzle pieces. So it's kind of fine, actually. It's just kind of a new thing they did. What else? Oh, Rextro. Rextro is back, of course. And he now has his own game as opposed to the... Again, I have nothing but respect for these developers, but not fun mini games that Rextro had in the first game. They were just... really difficult for no reason. But here, they actually made Rextro into a nice little puzzle game. And those are really fun. Those levels are really fun. They're really cute. And you get 3 pages out of them if you get all 3 medals. Which I think is really neat. I really enjoy Rextro in this game. Except one aspect of it, which is that Rextro, I don't believe he was there in the first game. But Rextro is now actually in Ivory Towers, the hub world itself now. And he lets you replay all of the arcade machines from all the levels that you've played so far. But there's like, I think 3 arcade machines that are exclusive to the hub world. And I don't know if I'm just stupid and didn't see it, but like, to me, I could not find an indication of like what the actual hub exclusive arcade machines were. So, like, I just assumed that, like, oh, this is just to replay the games from whenever. I didn't realize, like, oh, you actually get other pages out of these too. But only some of the arcade machines, because some of them are just straight up the replays from the levels themselves. So, I don't know if I just missed the indicator there, but I thought that was a little strange. But otherwise, I love Rextro. I love his little mini-games. Who I don't love is Cardos. Cardos is the minecart guy. You do a little minecart segment like Donkey Kong Country. You gotta collect a bunch of gems, and depending on how many you get, is how many pages you get. You get a max of 3, and to get all 3 pages from each Cardos segment, you have to collect every gem in the stage, which is a little annoying, especially with how slow Cardos moves, and how long some of these levels are. Like the one in Moody Maze Marsh, oh my god. Oh, that is just awful. It's not that bad once you actually know what you're doing, but it can be pretty annoying to... Well, not annoying. It can be it's just kind of boring to try to, like, figure out exactly how you're meant to get all of them. He just moves so slow, and what I think would really improve the Cardos sections is if you just had the ability to use the control stick to speed up and slow down. I think that would make the Cardos sections much better, but they're still here. They're still not the best part of the game, but they are definitely a lot better and a lot more manageable than they were in the first game. They were so obnoxious in the original. They have definitely toned down the difficulty of them a little bit. They've toned down the difficulty of a lot of things in this game, and I know some people might not like that. Some people might prefer the challenge of things, but it's less about it being difficult and more just being kind of ridiculous. Like how are you supposed to figure that out? Like to give you another example, like in the first level, there's like this memory match game, and in the first game there was an enemy there that just kind of like spun around and shot a laser at you as you were trying to match the tiles. Here that enemy is just gone, and I'm fine with that. Like you could say, well, that takes away the challenge, but it's like it was so dumb in the first game. Like it just made it more frustrating and annoying rather than actually fun. So like stuff like that, I'm fine with it being removed. Who else is an important character to talk about? We talked about Rextro and Cardos. Dr. Puzz, she's back. She's pretty much the same though. She still does her transformations. Um, I don't know if this is new or not. For some reason I remember this being a thing in the original Yooka-Laylee, but I could be wrong. When you have a transformation, you can hold down like the ZR button and you will get out of the transformation. You don't have to go back to untransform, which is a nice feature that would be really helpful in banjo-kazooie and Tooie. So I can't remember if that was in the original or not, but if it's not, then that was a good change. I'm glad they did it. But the transformations are still here. They're still pretty fun. Nothing really to write home about, though. I enjoyed them, though, for the most part. Yeah. What else? Similar, back on the track of how they made this game more similar to Mario Odyssey, they have added a lot more collectibles throughout the levels, a lot more pages, and I kind of talked about this earlier with, you know, all the little challenges they kind of sprinkled in around, so the worlds feel less empty, which is great. But I will say, like, it kind of feels like they're cheating a bit with some of them, because, like, a big selling point of this game was that, like, there's 300 pages now. Like, they doubled the amount of pages in this game, and it's like, whoa, there must be so much to do here now. But they've kind of, like, it feels like they've just kind of added pages for the sake of pages. Like, it feels very bloated, if that makes sense. Like, so many things now give you 3 pages. Obviously, like I said, Rextro and Cardos both give you 3 pages for getting the highest score in those games. And you get 3 pages for beating a boss, which, you know, that makes sense. But what also gives you pages now is each Ghost Rider, which is the equivalent of Jinjos in Banjo-Kazooie and Yooka-Laylee. You would find all 5 Jinjos or Ghost Riders, and then you would get a Pagey or Jiggy after finding all 5 of them. And in this game, you now get a Pagey for each of the 5 Ghost Riders you find. However, once you find all 5 of them, you also get an extra 3 pages. That is 8 pages for something that originally gave you 1. And, you know, that's fine. It certainly is satisfying to collect them all. But, like, when your selling point is, like, there's twice as many pages now, it's kind of like, are you kind of cheating a bit with that? With giving me 8 pages for something that was originally 1? I'll let them have it, though. I'll let them have it. It's fun. Like I said, it's still super satisfying to get. It's more so funny to me than anything. But, yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the general things to talk about. I guess onto the worlds themselves. I don't know if I really want to go, like, one by one. I thought they were all fine and dandy in their own right. I think Glitterglaze Glacier, the second world, still kind of felt a bit empty to me. But other than that, I think it was fine. I feel like Capital Casino really got a big upgrade here, and I can't quite put my finger on why that is. Because I remember hating that level in the original game. Like, that was around the time I stopped playing the game. I mean, I came back eventually to do the 5th world, but Capital Casino was, like, really where I just started losing my mind at how much I was not having fun with the original game. But I love Capital Casino in this world. I think it might be my favorite level in the game now. I don't know what they did. I can't pinpoint exactly what they changed, but it just was. I really enjoyed that level. So I thought that was great. The music, of course, is great. Grant Kirkhope. I don't think they redid the whole soundtrack. I'm pretty sure they just chose a few tracks to do a live orchestra rendition of some of them. So that's fine. It still sounds great. Love the OST. Of course, David Wise is also on it as well. Someone else who I'm blanking on the name of, but they also did a great job, I'm sure. What else to talk about? I just had something I want to talk about, and now I can't remember what it was. The story. The story is pretty much the same. They kind of frame it as like, I mean, the story of the original was that there was this magic book that you could rewrite the universe in, if you wrote in the pages of it. So it's kind of clever, I guess, that they are doing a remake of this game and technically rewriting the story. So it's a nice little framing device, I guess. Otherwise, it's kind of the same. They've cut out a lot of like kind of the fluff of the intro, which is fine. But I did notice, Capital B, of course, the main villain of this game. In the original game, they had talked about like he was kind of like a, I don't know, he was a cog in the machine, right? He was this cog in the machine. He wasn't like the true antagonist of the series. The true antagonist was hinted to be this board of directors that he had called Vile, which was like the secret evil organization or something. And I didn't play Impossible Lair, but I know they hinted at it again in that game. I really gotta play Impossible Lair. I'll do that eventually. But yeah, they were hinting towards this big secret evil organization called Vile, and like that is just not mentioned at all in this game now. And I guess it's because like they really wanted Capital B to like shine as the bad guy and not make him seem super incompetent and like actually feel like a threat, which I guess is fine. But it just kind of is weird that they had all of that build up to something and then they just kind of quietly are retconning it now, or I don't know. It's just weird that it wasn't mentioned at all in this, So that was strange. Another thing they changed about, not really the story, but I guess the progression of the story, is that in the original game, every so often Dr. Quack would interrupt you and make you do a quiz. And I don't blame them for getting rid of it. The quiz sucked in the original game. It was nothing like Grunty's Furnace Fun. But Dr. Quack just kind of doesn't do anything in this game now. He's just kind of there. And I really wish he at least had a quiz at the end of the game, right before the final boss. I felt like that would have... I don't know. I felt like that would have added a little bit more to the end. Or hell, give Dr. Quack his own boss fight. I would have loved that. Because I really do love Dr. Quack as a character. I think he's one of the funniest characters in this game. But he doesn't really get a chance to shine as much in this remake, and I found that to be a little bit disappointing. As for the final boss itself, I won't talk about it too much, or just people don't want to be spoiled on it. I mean, it's not really a secret who it is, but I never played it myself in the first game because I never finished the first game. But I have seen videos of the original final boss, and my god, they made it a lot better in this one. It was still hard, and it still took me a few tries, and I still thought it was annoying in some phases, but it is a lot. I think it is kind of comparable to the original Gruntilda fight, I would say, in that, like, it seems unfair and really stupidly challenging at first, but you do slowly get to master it, and I think it's a pretty good final boss. I enjoyed it quite a lot. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much the main stuff to talk about with Yooka-Replaylee. I don't know, I think that's it. I know there's something I'm forgetting, there's something that I wanted to mention, but, whatever, man, it's not like this is gonna be the last time I'll talk about this game. It's hard for me to say, like, what I would rate this game, like on a scale of 1 to 10 or something, just because I feel like I can't properly judge it yet, which may sound weird to some people because, like, well, you 100% of the game, do you not have a good assessment of whether or not you like the game or not? And it's like, yes, I do, but I am of the opinion that 3D platformer collectathons, like, you have to play these games multiple times to truly form an opinion on them, because, like, when I played Banjo-Tooie for the first time, I didn't like it as much as Banjo-Kazooie. I still liked it, but I didn't like it as much as Banjo-Kazooie. And then I played it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth. It just kept getting better. I think it kept getting better every time I played the game, and now it's my favorite game of all time. And I think, I truly do believe that, like, 3D platformers, collectathons especially, are like, these games get better every single time you play them, and, I feel like, you know, the more that you know about these games going into them, the more you know about, like, where collectibles are and how the levels are laid out, it's becomes so much more fun to just plow through them and just get everything is, you know, so efficiently. That is just like, you know, with that mindset, I truly believe, like, 3D platformers are, like, the greatest genre of games of all time. And I know not everyone is weird like that and wants to replay these games hundreds of times, but that's just how my brain works with them. I have to keep going back to them. So it's hard for me to say, like, how I would pit it against other 3D platformers, just with only one playthrough. I definitely will go back and play it again. But as of right now, I would say, I don't know, somewhere around 7.5 to 8 out of 10. It's not perfect. I still have some problems with it. I also gotta bring this up too. The movement is way better in this game. Like, in the original game, moves did not really flow well together at all. You could not even, like, tail spin out of, like, the hover. By the way, your double jump is gone now. It's just, you have a much higher jump, but, like, now you can glide for a super long time. It's really awesome. I love doing the little, not backflip, but it's like the little spring jump that you can do with Yooka's tail. Doing that into a glide and then doing a twirl to get a lot of height and distance. It's so fun. But yeah, the moves just flow a lot better with each other now. It's still not like the most, like, it's not Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong Bonanza levels of crazy movement. Like, it's nothing like that. And I don't think it controls as well as Banjo-Kazooie either. Though, I also got, this is a big thing to bring up. I can't believe I didn't mention this till now. The roll move in the original game cost you your energy meter, which depleted so quickly. So, like, so much of that game you just had to walk, and you could not use the actual fast method of movement. Now, it is not tied to stamina at all. You can roll as freely as you want, and I think that change alone makes the game, like, at least 5 times better. I'm not even exaggerating. That is probably single-handedly the best change they made to the game. It is so much more fun to move now in the game. But, you know, still not perfect, still not, like, the greatest thing ever, in my opinion. It's pretty good now. It's a good game now, and I'm happy to actually call myself a fan of Yooka-Laylee. Shit. I keep fucking remembering things I want to talk about. The characters themselves, Yooka and Laylee. I never really had an attachment to them as characters before, because to me they just felt like carbon copies of Banjo and Kazooie, and they just made no effort to really make them stand out. Like, Yooka is the kind of more polite guy that walks and carries the other one. Laylee is the sassy one that flies and is a girl. And it's just like, yeah, that's just Banjo and Kazooie. You didn't really try to make them stand out here. And obviously, like, they don't have new personalities. They still act the same as they did in the original game. But I just kind of don't care now, because, like, so many other things about the game, they just gave it so much more of its unique identity, rather than just trying to stick with the Banjo-Kazooie look. They just made it really made it its own. So, like, the characters themselves being very similar to Banjo and Kazooie doesn't bother me anymore. And I actually have really grown to love Yooka and Laylee as characters with this playthrough, as which I kind of felt nothing toward them before. So, good on ya, Playtonic. You made me actually care about your characters. I'm very happy to actually call myself a fan of Yooka-Laylee now. I love these guys. So yeah, before I ramble any further, I love the game. I think it's good. I'm excited to play it more for, as long as I live, because I love replaying collectathons. That's, like, my favorite thing to do. So yeah, I give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 right now. Not perfect, but still. You know what? We'll round that out to 7.77 out of 10, because well, one, it's me, 777. Also, Capital Casino is there's the gambling place, 777. They don't actually have sevens, though, on the slot machines. Did they have them in the first game? Were they sevens? No, I think they were still Yooka-Laylee's face in the first game. I don't remember. I'm just yapping at this point still. Anyways, game good. I liked it.